So every time you walk into a sales center or sit down in a restaurant, you're leaving leads on the table. So today we're going to show you exactly where that leak is and how to plug it in under 5 minutes.
Build your dream today. We show you the way. Luxury leads come to play. New homes here to stay. Marketing's our game. Elevate your name. Reach for the fame. Never just the same. We're the icon. Agent, new construction's our lane. Teaching you the secrets for luxury games. Digital wave we ride. Strategies we provide. No need to hide. Success is on your side. Close deals like a pro. Watch your profits grow. High standards we show. Feel that golden glow. We're the iconic agent. New construction's our lane. Teaching you the secrets for luxury games. Digital wave we ride. Strategies we provide. No need to hide. Success is on your side. Close deals like a pro. Watch your profits grow. High standards we show. Feel that golden glow. We're the iconic agent. New construction's our lane. Teaching you the secrets for luxury games.
All right, welcome. Today is June 10th, 2026, and this is the weekly Midweek Tune-Up, your quick midweek calibration for real estate mindset and marketing momentum. And let me do something really quickly because I have something open that is causing me issues. Let me close this out and we are ready to rock. Nate, what you got going on while I'm taking care of these technical issues here? There we go.
Uh, Contracts and showings, man. I'm taking some time out of our this busy schedule to share some game with everybody else, and then we're gonna get back to the money.
All right, speaking of which, let's get back to it. So this is how these calls work. The tune-up, which is what this is a one-way conversation, and this is what's working now. So what we do is we show you the what and the why here on the tune-up. The insider is two-way conversation. Actually, it's a multi-way conversation because we have conversations within the community, and that walks through the how to do what we're talking about, the specifics of the structure. So if you're new here, I'm Damon Greene, and
I am Nathaniel Crawford.
we're the founders of the Iconic Agent. We've been helping agents attract new construction and luxury new construction buyers since 2017. Over $400 million in additional sales has been generated from our clients since 2020 when we started tracking. So these calls are, we're not gatekeeping, we're giving you the game. The goal is for us to help however we can help you win. If you want to listen to this replay, because you're not going to be able to take it all in now, or previous archives, get the blueprints, downloads, and resources that we mentioned here, go to theIconicAgent.com/tune-up. It's free 99, won't cost you anything. That is the replays of what we're doing here. If you have questions, you'll want to do one of two things. Join the free AMA we do once a month. The next one's going to be on June 23rd. Go to the Tune Up and sign up, and you'll get information on that. That is legitimately a coaching call where we answer your questions. You hop on, we'll answer your questions. If we don't have the answers, one of the amazing folks that are on there, other agents will help you out. This is a community we run. So it's at 6 p.m., usually about 6 p.m. to 8. And you can ask questions there, or you can ask in the New Home Marketing Insider, where you have 24 access to answer questions, ask questions, answer questions, case studies, training, resources, tools, and how to do the stuff we're talking about here on the Tune-Up. So today's topics, I'm going to cover 3 topics. Google and lunch equals new home buyers. We're going to explain that. How to create custom listing songs that buyers hum all the way to the closing table. That's a thing. And then how we paid off Google to give us the most in-demand builder in a subdivision. And that's what we're tackling. So before we get started, there's a belief that I've seen a lot of agents have is 1, marketing is hard. 2, I'm just going to work my sphere of influence and my, current people that I know. That's the first thing I hear out of people's mouths when I'm in a new market. So for instance, I am in the Georgia market, Atlanta, Georgia market now too, in Tampa. So first thing is like, well, you don't have a sphere of influence, which I kind of do because I've lived here for 12 years before. But, well, what are you going to do? I was like, I can go anywhere in the country. I know how to market. I'm going to drop down here. I'm going to do what we're teaching you guys in this market to start selling here as well. So I don't have a sphere to market to, and you don't necessarily need a sphere. And then also it's all this overwhelming information, like where do you start? So with that, after we go through this, you're going to see how to leverage what you're already doing to get business, to put yourself out there for marketing. Sphere of influence is great. And there are some agents that can live off of their sphere, but you have to build a sphere of sales. You have to build up clients for sales first. And a sphere of influence and referrals is icing on the cake. That's not a business strategy, especially now. It used to be, for years it could be, but as you see now, so many agents have had the rug pulled out from under them because they're relying on their sphere and their sphere is just sitting there waiting. So now what do? You have to know how to market. We're giving you simple, easy strategies to implement that. And again, we're giving you the game, simple, actionable strategies. So Nate, let's dive in. First one. So we had a really good, you guys are going to get a chance, and I see Chris is on here. You guys are going to get a chance to see the behind the scenes. This is an encore. Last week, we had a VIP client only coaching call. That's our upper tier clients from our done with yous to done for yous, and we don't do anymore. We used to have our top tier clients once a month. We invite them into a room and we actually go back and forth, share screens, talk, have conversations. Well, we had one last week. Actually, Chris here was on. I think Eric was on too. So we had a really, really awesome coaching call. So the way the coaching calls work is, yes, Nate and I will answer questions and we'll help out. But a lot of it, and one of these is something that Chris had mentioned, but you're going to have to watch the replay to hear his whole story and how it went. But one of them, we'll talk about, that's number 2. It was so good. We're sharing with you basically what you missed, kind of rub it in your face a little bit. But no, seriously, we're sharing what you missed because there were some really good strategies where Nate and I were like, what? This is crazy. So the first one, and Nate, I want to let you handle that because Nate introduced me to this. Matt gave a different spin on it. So we're going to start with what we knew before coming into the call. Matt came in and mentioned something, and we merged the two. And it's all about your mobile device, Google, lunch, and sales centers. So Nate, let's talk about what you and I can't remember the gentleman's name, but
Samson.
strategy. What is it?
Samson.
Samson, yeah. You and Samson did. I started doing this, and then we'll walk through this first topic. Now, this is ridiculously simple, but it's highly actionable and effective.
Yeah. So to give a little context on it, I was at dinner or lunch with a buddy of mine, and he's a foodie. He travels a lot, and everywhere he goes, when he orders, the way he orders in restaurants is he just asks the waiter or waitress, what's your favorite dish? And that's what he gets. When food comes, he takes a picture of it, offers feedback. But when the food came, he did something that I had never seen anyone do before. Before he took a picture of the meal, he put his business card next to the plate. Right. So every time he goes somewhere, he leaves a review on the food. And then what happens with the review on the food, it gets impressions, people see it, they see the pictures. And a portion of those people, obviously, because he's traveling in places where he himself, his avatar hangs out. Among other things, he's a general contractor. Putting his business card in those pictures was actually getting him calls. So think about, from that perspective, I was like, well, I should probably be doing that too. If you're in an area, right, you're farming an area, you live in an area, whatever, you're frequenting these restaurants, it would stand to reason that other people who are in that community or interested in that community are also frequenting those restaurants and reading reviews about them. Very, very few people actually take the time to write a review or take pictures. And those
Unless
of
it's
us who
bad.
do,
Unless the
yeah,
experience is bad.
yeah, unless it's bad, right? Yeah. But those of us who take the time to do positive reviews get a whole bunch of traction on them. So one of the really easy ways that you can leverage stuff that you're doing already is as you're out in the community, and we sort of expanded on this with our conversation last week, but whenever you go to a restaurant, when you take a picture to put a review, obviously you want to be a good review because you don't want to put a bad review and associated with your business card. When you're taking pictures of that food and putting that review in, include your business card in that picture. And now I'm not saying put it in the middle because the AI will catch it if if the business card covers up more than like 20% or something like that of the screen. So it's not at all your business card is not the primary focus of the picture. Your business card is almost like the business card is like next to the drink on the side. So it's
Like an
there.
appetizer.
Exactly. People can see it, but the focus of the picture is still the food, right? And write a comment. You will find that as you get more and more traction with that, you'll get more and more visibility with that. And you will probably, obviously, no one can guarantee you anything. There's a good chance that you will start to see people calling you from those impressions, right? Once you get up to a certain, number of volume there, a percentage of those people, in Samson's case, he has millions of views on his reviews because he has reviews all over the world. He travels all over the globe, and he's going all these places and doing little, food reviews on tacos and stuff. But he's also got his business cards there, and one out of every couple thousand people is like, oh man, I need a general contractor in this area, and this guy is here, and he has good taste in food. Who knew?
Yeah, so with that, just take that, and I can attest to that because I started doing that, but I don't always remember to do it. So me and my fiance, we travel the country, and we eat pizza and barbecue. That's the thing. Nate actually gave her the name for what we were doing, which was Hardcore Pizza Tour. So building that out. But anyway, as we're traveling around, we always stop to find pizza and we find some barbecue. And I forget half the time, but I started doing that. When I was doing that, even when like I hung out with Nate in Pompano or Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and do this, my views, I'm in the thousands of views. I'm in the top 10% of reviewers in Google from doing that. And I have had people, because I usually flash my iconic agent card, I'll get a nice dish, stick it kind of in the corner. So it takes up like a eighth, not quite a quarter, but you can see it. But again, the focus is the food. And I've gotten agents in Dallas, typically because I'm in Dallas a lot. Dallas folks have called me and said, yeah, I saw your card on this thing here. And then I went and checked out your site and was like, man, this is really cool. And I'll also be doing that, here in Atlanta once I get my cards here for Atlanta. But that definitely works. But that wasn't what we talked about. That's something we've been doing. Matt, who hopped on, one of our clients, he's in Jacksonville. What he's did, and this is how we merged the two. What he did was he goes to the sales centers and has conversations in the whole nine. And if you're set up, I know I have an Android, so my phone when I leave, it'll say, "How was your um how was your Toll Brothers at the Overlook visit?" Or you visited Toll Brothers at the Overlook. And I'm like, oh yeah, I did go there. That's the first thing that came to me. Well, what he does a review right there afterwards. So he'll go in and say, hey, yeah, I'm here, da 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 da. And he'll leave information and pictures, and he'll have a picture of him and his clients, and he'll leave something in there like, if you're looking to buy here, new construction, whatever, he'll post, and he gets thank yous and all that. So I'm like, if you take that approach and take the approach that Nate mentioned, and you marry those two together, you're at the front of the sign. Hold your business card out so that you can see the business card is. Take a snapshot. Take some really sexy pictures of the inside. Take a short 5 second, 10-second little video clips. Uploads to your Google My Business profile. Now you're going to also optimize your Google My Business profile for that community. Make sure you use the name. I'm not even going to go into all that. You guys have to figure it out. The insider, we're going to go deep into this. But that is a thing. And that's the possibilities that came out of that was like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The underlying theme of stuff like this, guys, is there are ways for you to get mileage, to get value, and in many cases to make money doing things that you do anyway. If you go to the Publix around the corner from your house, you can put a review up for them. If the tacos place down the street, the gas station, like all of these places, and obviously we'll go deeper into this in the insider, but reviews are a thing, and reviews are a thing you can leverage. And if you're using your footprint on Google to leverage them properly, that's very, very low hanging fruit because these are places that you're going anyway. So I'm a big fan of getting paid to do stuff I was going to do anyway. Like this is one of those ways that if you're more cognizant of the places that you go and why writing reviews can be impactful, not only for their business, but for your business too, that can be a huge thing for you to just sort of add to your repertoire of things you do when you're out and about.
Yes. And my brain is firing right now, so we're going to cover that there. But if you listen to last week's tune-up, what we talked about the 91% of agents that aren't being seen because they're not structured right, and the new answer engine optimization, how do you show up in ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Google search, AI when people are asking questions because most agents aren't. This ties to that. So setting this up using your Google My Business profile, Google Business, whatever you call it, they change the names up, and taking this strategy also will help you with that. You're gonna have to put two to two together there, but that is a major nugget. It's something you can do like right now. So like Nate said, you want to take what you got, use what you're already doing, and just apply it there. So again, we're going to do a whole training and segment on this over at the Insider. So the second one, and this came from Chris, and it's funny, Chris, because Rob, who was also in a Greg Luther coaching, didn't tell me what I saw where he got it from now after Chris mentioned it. But Rob had sent me a guy that had the song. He said, dude, listen to the song. And I listened to it. I was like, oh, cool. Ironically, if you guys have been here since we started, that intro in the beginning was used the same way another agent used to create a custom song that literally the buyer was singing the song at closing. It was a custom listing description song. So when you create listing descriptions, you might go to ChatGPT and say, oh, I'm going to do this, and it'll spit it out, and you think you're doing something. So every other agent's doing it. Number one, if you go back to the December 15th tune-up, we give you 3 stories that unless you're selling multi like 20 million plus, and it'll probably still work with that. We give you 3 simple frameworks, story frameworks. Stories sell, facts tell. There's the analytical side, but people buy because of emotion, and stories help invoke that emotion, and stories sell. So where I was going with that, go back and watch the December 15th. In the Insider, we give you the exact prompts, structure, and the whole breakdown of those 3 stories. But when we have a listing, if you create it more from a story style that's attractive to your ideal buyer, where it's pulling on their heartstrings or it's making them vision themselves. Remember, we always talk about being your client's vision board or your buyer's vision board. It helps them imagine what it's like to live in there. That's different than saying, hey, it's a 3 bedroom, 3 bath, there's a lagoon in the backyard, and it's got all this other stuff. That's what every other agent's doing. Well, this guy took it to another level. He made a custom song, not just a story. Matter of fact, he didn't even use a story. He did a custom song, and this is what Chris had done too. He made a custom song based on the features, which is still more than others and was really cool. But if you add a story to that, you give it a personality. And Nate, we've talked about this. You give your listing a personality, and then you marry a song with that. It's to the point where this guy, he did it on this little level. Our minds opened up for it. We're going to talk more about that on the Insider. But he said literally the guy was humming the song at closing because it was so catchy. And how I know this to be true, and which is really interesting when I heard this, because I'm like in the kitchen, came out the office, go to the kitchen to get some like something to drink, and my fiance was in there, and I'm humming something. She's like, "What are you humming?" I was like, "I'm humming the Iconic Agent song." I can't. She created that. It's like I can't get this out of my head. So I know that's a thing, like the Iconic Agent. That like I wake up in the middle of the night and that's in my head. So if you have a good catchy enough song, that's what it is. So Nate, walk through that a little more. Give a couple little tidbits and points on that. And Suno AI, you can use Suno AI for it. But you had some good commentary there. And again, if you want this full context, you're gonna have to join the Insider, and you can watch the entire 2 hour training where we talk through this.
Yeah, yeah. So from a branding perspective, in my humble opinion, I think you can get a lot more mileage out of custom songs if they're targeting, like a lot of people in the Iconic Agent program are targeting master plan communities or specific communities. So doing a property specific song will be very impactful on, I would say, on resales that are just sort of in larger communities, maybe areas that don't have HOAs and stuff like that. But if you're focused on a specific new construction community and that developer is already spending, because developers are spending money on branding, right? They suck at engagement. They're really good at branding. You get a lot of reach. So if that community already has a lot of visibility and you're going after multiple listings in that area or going after buyers, really aggressively, putting together what is the equivalent of a theme song for that community can be very powerful for you, because now that's something that you can include in all of your marketing, right? So all of your walkthrough videos, your buyer videos, TikToks or YouTube stuff where you're sharing information. It can be your intro, your outro, or even just the background music on some of the walkthroughs. So it's a very, very powerful way to sort of get one of those earworms with people where they just can't get the song out of their head, and then that song leads them back to you.
Yep. And there's a whole lot you can do with that. So we'll kind of walk through step by step and lay it all out over at the Insider. And then number three, we're not going to have time to go in now, but I'll give you a little teaser as to what it was. So we paid a few $100s to confirm basically paid off Google with a couple $100s to confirm the buyer demand for a builder in a master plan community. And now this client Jose is about to absolutely crush it. So the backstory was he was targeting master plan community. He went and talked to one of the builders, and the builder was like, "Man, you got to get on this because like we're selling like hotcakes," and he was just kind of hyping it up. Like, cool. Well, we paid Google, and Google told us that he was actually not lying. Like 54% of the searches and the demand was for that builder. So we were like, okay, now what are the next steps? And that's what we'll walk through. That's what we walk through. I'm actually walking through that with him. His computer had issues. So we walked through part one. We'll come back with part two once it's all set up. But we'll walk through that. You'll have to go to the Insider to catch that. So we're just about the top of the hour. And once again, if you have questions and answers around this content, go to the Iconic Agent New Home Marketing Insiders. We'll give you the exact strategy, training, and resources, and answer questions as well as give you the how The tune-up, remember, this is what to do. You can totally take this and go run with it. If you want to know how to do it, head on over to the New Home Marketing Insiders. It's your monthly luxury new construction marketing edge on your schedule. So the last about almost 30 minutes was a taste of what you'll get. Insiders get this every single month in detail, plus the replays to the AMAs and coaching calls, and access to ask us questions. We have proprietary software and tools. We just upgraded. So if you're in the Insider now, we just upgraded the incentive tool, which is extremely helpful. If you don't understand how to explain and articulate incentives to your buyers, plug the numbers in, print out. You can now print out a sheet, show it to them directionally. Hey, this is what 3.99% interest rate means with $20,000 flex cash. You'll be able to explain that. So head on over to the iconicagent.com/insider or click on this QR code here. And a bonus this month, we're giving you, everybody that signs up for the Insider, we're giving you $100 in your very own virtual assistant, chief of staff. 100% free. It's easy to set up. So how can you use them? And I walk through the ways that I use my virtual assistant. It's literally like hiring a $30,000 system. We have a $30,000 system that we're keeping. He's just going to be more busy. This assistant can do all of that stuff with no real technical setup. So daily briefings, you need content help, social media help, weekly priors, reporting, revenue accountability, research, like all of this is possible. And it's not, it's not a Claude or ChatGPT. It's literally like, it's an agent, but it's an agent that you can use. You just tell it what to do. You don't have to have any technical experience. Tell it what to do, and you're like, whoa, that's here. So either way, that's the bonus we're giving you this month. Head on over to the iconicagent.com/insider. We are just at the top of the hour. So we nailed 30 minutes. We're going to wrap it up. If you'd like more information, head on to the iconicagent.com/insider, where we'll give you all of this, not just the what, but how to do what we just talked about. As well, if you're looking for this replay, you can go to the iconicagent.com/tune-up. On Friday, this will be listed there. Nate, any last words and or the benediction?
Yeah, well, appreciate y'all coming out. God bless you. Go get the money.
Digital wave we ride, strategies we provide. No need to hide, success is on your side. Close deals like a pro, watch your profits grow. High standards we show.